A man accused of shooting an Idaho pastor is caught near the White House.
Plus, Montana's bison management could see some serious changes in the near future.
And IHOP serving up a sweet deal today to benefit Montana kids.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The Kpax 10 o'clock news starts right now in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. The suspect in the weekend shooting of a pastor in North Idaho was arrested this evening in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Kootenai County authorities announced in a news conference that Kyle Odom was arrested by the Secret Service. They say he was throwing suspicious items over the south fence of the White House. Now, the FBI also on the scene assisting with the criminal investigation, working to determine when Odom arrived in D.C. and his movements over the last several days since he fled Coeur d'Alene following the shooting Sunday afternoon. Odom sent packages to multiple media organizations and others containing flash drives with electronic documents indicating he was suffering from a mental illness. Authorities believe Odom was also targeting another member of that church. He is facing an attempted murder charge, accused of shooting Pastor Tim Remington 6 times in the church parking lot on Sunday. Remington expected to make a full recovery.
A big night for Missoula County parents and students as residents got the chance to see what an $88 million school bond is paying for at this evening's Board of Trustees meeting.
Planners for reconstruction at Franklin and Lowell schools showed off computer-generated models and the plans for the 2 elementary schools. MTN's Eric Clements joins us in the studio with more on that. Eric.
Thanks, Jill. Dennis. Missoula voters agreed to pass the $88 million bond last November, and now they're able to see what's been cooking over the past 4 months. Missoula's Franklin and Lowell elementary schools are at the top of the list of planned renovations. While neither school is being completely rebuilt, the new construction is very extensive. Architects have spent the past several months designing the new looks for the schools, which incorporate open spaces between classrooms and a big focus on natural light. Some windows at Franklin could measure up to 36 square feet, and a 2-story tall window looking into the commons is planned at Lowell. And while new designs focus on how to best facilitate education, they'll also be able to serve community functions.
And so we built the commons area that can be used for all kinds of different groups and gatherings, and then keeping the gym and the entrance to the gym so that people can utilize that as well.
Now, Shattuck says they hope to begin work just as soon as school ends for the summer in early June, but because of just how extensive construction at these 2 schools will be, Franklin students will spend next year at Jefferson Elementary. Lowell kids will be able to attend Mount Jumbo Elementary over in East Missoula. Back to you, Jill.
All right, thanks so much, Eric. Additional improvements include new boiler systems. Planners chose modular boilers that use hot water instead of steam to provide more efficient heating throughout the schools. On Monday, a Missoula school principal is appealing her suspension before the MCPS school board after allowing topless photos to accompany a school newspaper article. Jane Bennett was disciplined after 6 individuals appeared on the front page topless. There's another picture of 2 topless people inside the paper, the Willard Wire. Those pictures were connected to a student's story about a national effort to allow women to appear topless in public. Now, the school also says there was some language used in one of the articles that violated district policy. Bennett and her attorney will present their case for an appeal at a Board of Trustees meeting. That meeting is Monday, March 14th at 6 o'clock at the school administration building. MCPS says the meeting is open to the public, but the public will not be allowed to comment on the proceedings.
Still in education news tonight, trustees at the historic Lone Rock School are reviewing a variety of ideas as they attempt to dig out from under a soaring budget deficit caused by declining enrollment. The school north of Stevensville is now the oldest continuously operating school in the state and has seen more than a few lean times and more than a century of service. But now the school board is facing a serious slide in enrollment, with student population shrinking to just over 200 students this spring. That, combined with other factors, is creating a potential budget deficit of $112,000 for next school year. Tonight, the school board and staff wrestle with the best way to tackle the financial problems, especially since the district has already been making cuts over the past couple of years.
See, we were going high gear. We were at a point of 300, 320. If we would have stayed on our projection, we'd have been at 450 now. That turned around, and instead of being at 450, we're at 220.
With Superintendent Roger Samples announcing his retirement, trustees are going to be tabling the search for his replacement with an eye toward getting temporary help with the budget. But several ideas are in play, including possible layoffs or perhaps turning to voters for help through a levy. The trustees will meet again next Tuesday. Well, it was a mild day across western Montana, just a little bit of sun out there, but that could change as another disturbance moves into the area tomorrow. Here's Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost with your first forecast. Aaron?
Yes, and that next disturbance is going to bring us a little precipitation type we haven't seen in a little bit. Some snow. We've been seeing a lot of rain recently with these warmer temperatures, but we could be starting off tomorrow morning with a little light snow. I don't think it'll be problematic, but definitely a little different looking than what we've seen recently. This is what we saw today in Hamilton from our First Security Bank iCam. The radar not lit up. It wasn't really lit up throughout the day today, although we did see a few isolated rain and snow showers. We are sitting with a low currently, but you can see the makings of that next disturbance moving a little bit closer. We've got an even bigger one headed our way Thursday and Friday with potentially some significant moisture. I've got more details coming up.
Frequent flyers out of Missoula might be able to keep their shoes on the next time they go through that security checkpoint if they sign up for TSA PreCheck. The Missoula International Airport is joining 160 other airports across the nation to implement the PreCheck program. Travelers sign up ahead of time by meeting with TSA officials who will verify identity, take fingerprints, and then eventually assign a known traveler number. It's a program that costs $85 for 5 years, but will get travelers through security a lot faster.
We reached out to TSA and they are bringing in a mobile sign-up area to the Missoula Airport. So April 4th through the 8th, they'll be here for doing sign-ups. It's really for any family, businessman or family member, so you don't have to take off your light jacket or take your liquids and gels out of your briefcase or your laptop out of your briefcase. So, you know, it'll make transitioning the checkpoint so much easier.
Again, the sign up is next month. You have to do it in advance of any trip you take. You go to kpax.com for more information on how to make an appointment. D.A. Davidson announced yesterday it's merging with a Nebraska-based financial services company. The merger with Smith Hayes will grow D.A. Davidson by about 30 employees and roughly $4 billion in assets under management and administration. Smith Hayes provides asset management services to companies and individuals, as well as retirement plan consulting and investment banking services to cities and corporate clients. The merger will strengthen D.A. Davidson's presence in Nebraska, where D.A. Davidson CEO Jim Kerr feels there's a lot of opportunity. The capture and processing one of Yellowstone bison herds began today in southwest Montana.
And for the first time, park officials allowed media to watch and record the operations at Stevens Creek. MTN's Judy Slate reports the type of bison management you see here could be on its way out.
This is the processing facility behind me here at Stevens Creek. Today, 75 bison are moving through here. 4 men on horseback, along with a Chevy Blazer, herd bison from a holding pen into the processing area. Once inside, they're sent down a series of alleyways and then into this hydraulic chute. Most bison don't appear too happy to be held in place, while park biologists give them a rump tag with a number, take a blood sample which will test for brucellosis, and finally weigh the giant animals.
915.
That's right, 915 pounds, and that's not even the heaviest. Some are well over 1,000 pounds. This is the first time these operations have been recorded by the media.
Open the doors up, show people that we are, we're not trying to hide anything that's happening at the facility.
As far as we can tell, operations run smoothly. 75 bison move through in about 3 hours. But don't be fooled. None of the folks here want to do this job.
This isn't something that we enjoy doing. However, we're mandated to do it from the 2000 settlement.
In the 90s, the state of Montana sued the park because bison were leaving Yellowstone boundaries. The settlement created the Interagency Bison Management Plan. Every year, they come up with a desired number of bison. This year, the goal is to reduce the herd by 600 to 900. So far, about 400 bison have been killed by hunters. Now they're hoping to make up the rest by capturing bison and shipping them to slaughter here at Stevens Creek. But bison management may be in for a change thanks to knowledge gained over the past 16 years.
The movements in and out of the park, also, how brucellosis is transmitted, and just, what their ideal movements would be.
One change could be the quarantine of certain bison that test negative for brucellosis, something the park is hopeful could happen soon, so soon that this week they're holding back brucellosis-free calves. For now, 75 bison were processed Tuesday. Wednesday, another 75 will go through, and they should all be shipped to slaughter by next week. But in the future, the park hopes these operations may not be necessary.
We would like to see bison managed like any other wildlife, like elk, where they can roam wherever they want, they can leave the park, and they're managed through hunts outside the park, as opposed to now where we have to manage them before they leave the park or, just as they leave the park.
Now, even though operations here are just getting underway, they are running out of time. This facility will only be open until March 31st. In Yellowstone National Park, Judy Slate, MTN News.
Stay with us for your full forecast right after the break. Aaron has details behind the active weather on tap to finish out the week.
Plus, later in the show, the latest results rolling in from those primaries across the nation. Stay with us for campaign 2016 coverage still ahead.
You're watching MTN News with Jill Valley and Dennis Bragg. Storm Tracker weather with Aaron Yost and sports with Derek Berkeley. This is the Kpax 10 o'clock news in high definition.
I've been doing collision repair work for about 35 years. I do a lot of the very technical stuff on unibody and frames. Keeping up with constantly changing technologies is always a challenge. Restoring a vehicle's structural integrity and safety is a big responsibility for us. It's hard work, but I make people safe. And every now and then, I like to remind myself of that.
Make a statement that's all about you. Madison Creek Furnishings, the statement you're looking for. Madison Creek.
We know you're busy. Days filled with emails, phone calls, questions. When was the last time you felt like someone listened? At First Security Bank, we listen. Listening makes for better relationships. And better relationships mean developing financial solutions to help your business grow. We believe time spent with customers is time well spent. First Security Bank.
Since 1961, Whalen Tire has been rolling all kinds of quality tires at the right prices to our valued customers. Whalen Tire is a small-town Montana store for Montanans who expect the best tires and service and support after the sale. At Whalen Tire, you always get free rotations, free flat repair, free rebalancing, and our road hazard warranty is second to none with 100% replacement on damaged tires with up to 25% tread wear. Stop by Whalen Tire today. We're sure to have the tires you need at prices you can afford and the service you deserve.
Wash Dr. Oz, weekdays at 3 right here in Kpax.
For the 11th year in a row, it was all about pancakes today. IHOP offering their short stack for free in the hopes patrons would consider donating money to the Children's Miracle Network. It's been quite a teamwork for several years now. Shotier Hospital in Helena serves Montana's only CMN facility. Last year, IHOPs across the country served over 6 million free pancakes and raised $3.5 million on National Pancake Day.
Love it. I love it. I was a part of a pancake stacking competition.
Did you get to
in
do
Helena?
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
with the former Miss Montana. I love seeing Danielle there and Miss Outstanding Teen Montana
Yeah.
too. It's just a great,
My only
great
expertise
event.
with pancakes?
Eating them?
Yeah, you do it.
That's me too. I did not win that competition, by the way. It was with Lieutenant Governor Bollinger too at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and he did surprisingly well. He had words of wisdom. He said, "Start with a good foundation." I thought that was really funny. We've got some weather photos to share with you folks tonight. This one from RD. I love it. It was taken today in Stevensville. A little bit of blue, a little bit of cloud, a little bit of light precipitation across the region today. It was definitely a day that I think everybody might have been happy with the weather. This one from Misty was also taken today. The sunset tonight in Ronan. Misty, if you're watching, thank you. This one not today. It was taken yesterday, sent in by Randy Home. The Missions, way up in the Missions near Polson. Randy, thanks for taking one for the team and either hiking up there or getting up there somehow to snap the picture for all of us to see. We sure do appreciate it. And if you would like to see yours on here, please just send them in. All you need to do is search for Kpax on Facebook. Across the lower 48, we are unfortunately seeing a lot of severe weather across the south central U.S. this evening and a good portion of the Midwest as well. A little bit of mixed precipitation for the eastern Great Lakes region, but most of the activity confined to the west. Much needed moisture falling in the state of California. They're in for it here over the next few days. We've got a nice plume of Pacific moisture that's going to be directed right at that part of the country, and we're going to see some of that plume as close as the panhandle of Idaho and northwest Montana Thursday and Friday with a slightly larger system. Right now, though, pretty quiet. We do have this weak disturbance that'll move through overnight tonight into at least the first part of the day tomorrow with a little light snow for us. So something we haven't seen here for a little bit. It's been mainly rain showers over the last several go-arounds. Here's Polson today from our St. Joseph Medical Center iCam, our time lapse in Missoula. From the St. Patrick Hospital iCam. Again, a little bit of everything today. We're at 31 degrees currently. We did hit 49 for our high today officially at the airport. That's just 2 degrees above normal for this time of year. Kalispell, we also hit 49, but that's 7 degrees above our average high temperature for March 8th. We're at 27 currently in Kalispell. We've got 37 in the Stevensville area. Knoxon at 28, Trout Creek at 32, Hamilton at 33, St. Ignatius calling in with 29. So a bit chilly out there tonight. We're not really seeing any wind, and those clouds have temporarily broken up, so that's the reason we're sort of seeing those temperatures dropping a bit. Lows tonight, 20s pretty much across the board, so that will be cold enough for some snowflakes as we move into tomorrow morning as that next disturbance kind of moves on through. Little to no impact, though, associated with this disturbance throughout much of the day tomorrow. It looks pretty similar to what we saw throughout the day today, but that will change as we move into Thursday morning and we get a bigger push of moisture. Highs for us tomorrow, topping out well into the 40s, maybe even a couple of low 50s mixed in there as well. We'll see a few peaks of sunshine, especially the second half of the day, but notice how that plume of moisture just gets brought right up into the Pacific Northwest as we move throughout your day on Thursday. A lot of it directed at the northwest quarter of the state. Now, snow levels will stay pretty high. We're talking above 5,000 or 6,000 feet, and notice those daytime highs Thursday well into the 50s across western Montana. So that just goes to show you the origin of where this Pacific moisture and this air mass is coming from, warmer areas. So that's the reason we've got that southwesterly flow kicking up the heat, so to speak. We're also going to see some windy conditions. Most of the rain will fall closer to the Idaho border. Panhandle of Idaho, for example, that's where we're going to be looking at the potential for some rock slides and mudslides. A lot of rainfall Thursday and Friday.
All right, Erin, thank you. Still much more to come here on Kpax. A big night for Bernie Sanders, plus new details behind an officer-involved shooting in Oregon last month.
And the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, far from over. We'll have the latest update coming up here on Kpax.
Health Break is brought to you by Providence Health and Services, serving Western Montana.
2016 marks the centennial anniversary of Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Polson. Director of Hospital Operations, Landon Godfrey, tells the story of how St. Joseph began over a century ago.
The Catholic priests in Polson reached out to a group of healthcare organization leaders and asked if they could start up a hospital in Polson. And so they sent in 3 nuns, and the sisters came up over the hill and they looked down and they didn't have a place to even stay. So Father O'Malley, the Catholic priest, moved out of his house and allowed them to start a hospital right there in his home. And when you think about what they were doing at that period of time, they weren't doctors, they weren't nurses, they were giving care in its most elemental form. They were taking care of the patients by respecting them, providing compassion and love. And I'd like to think that throughout this 100 years, that's one of the things that's stayed consistent, is while we found cures for disease, we have the high-end technology that can look inside your body, tell us exactly what's wrong with you. We're still caring for that individual, we're respecting you, and we're giving you love.
Today, that tradition continues to thrive.
We have the sophistication of a hospital 10 times our size because we have Providence Health and Services ensuring that we provide care. The same care you'd receive in Seattle or Missoula or Spokane, you're going to get in Polson, Montana.
To find out more, visit montana.providence.org.
Health Break was brought to you by Providence Health and Services, serving Western Montana.
Fashions fade. Style is eternal. Find all the latest styles and accessories at Mountain West Co-op. If you're looking for boots, kids' clothing, or a new cowboy hat, Mountain West Co-op is stocked with the best in Western wear and work apparel. Get the best selection of name brands like Carhartt, Wrangler, and Cinch to stylize your life. Mountain West Co-op, on reserve in Missoula.
Your one-stop branch and home store, Mountain West Cooperative.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The Kpax 10 o'clock news continues in high definition.
An investigation reveals the shooting that ended that Oregon standoff was justified, and now for the first time we're seeing and hearing what went on inside Lavoy Finicum's truck moments before he was killed. Investigators say Oregon State Police were justified, but the FBI fired shots too, and now those agents are under investigation.
You shoot me. I'm going to meet the sheriff. The sheriff is waiting for us.
6 weeks after the end of the standoff at the wildlife refuge in Oregon that lasted 41 days, this newly released video shows the moment state police troopers are trying to get the group to pull over. Today we find out a total of 8 shots were fired, 6 fired by Oregon State Police troopers. 2 came from FBI tactical agents. Investigators say Finicum was using his truck as a dangerous weapon and that troopers believed he was trying to crash into them. One trooper was armed with a taser. When Finicum pulled for his gun, 2 other troopers shot him. The names of those officers involved have not been released. There's also new information released in the death of a Chicago boy. Police say he was lured into an alley and then shot to death. Prosecutors have now filed murder charges against the man they say killed 9-year-old Tashawn Lee. 22-year-old Dwight Boone Doty is charged with first-degree murder in this November attack. Another man, 27-year-old Corey Morgan, is charged with luring the boy to the alley where he was gunned down. Boone Doty is already facing first-degree murder and attempted murder charges for a separate offense that took place last October. The suspected shooter has been in jail since November.
Another big night on the political scene. Voters in 4 states weighing in on the presidential race with more than 300 delegates up for grabs. Mississippi, Idaho, Michigan, and Hawaii had their nominating contest tonight on both the Republican and Democratic sides. Some of the races have yet to be called, but there are some clear winners already. For the Republican ticket, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump has won both Michigan and Mississippi. Votes are still being tallied in Idaho and Hawaii. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton has won Mississippi. Bernie Sanders has a tight lead over Clinton in Michigan. And just lately coming in a couple of minutes ago, CBS projecting that Ted Cruz is going to win the Idaho primary. Coming up, Health Watch is next on Kpax. Frustration grows over relief efforts and testing of water in Flint, Michigan.
Telephone companies have complicated deals with contracts and hidden fees. But with Spectrum Internet, we make it simple and affordable at $29.99 a month when bundled, and there's no contract.
No contract at all with Spectrum. Finally!
Spectrum Internet is the fastest you can get. At 20 times the speed of DSL, you'll easily have enough bandwidth for all your devices.
Our phones, tablets, all connected, and it's fast. No slowdowns, no data caps, everything is perfect.
With Spectrum Internet, I'm getting more for my money.
Get Spectrum Internet for $29.99 a month. Call 844-883-2999. With Spectrum TV, you get free HD, and all your primetime shows are free on demand.
We can always watch what we want, when we want it.
And Spectrum Voice is simply superior with no added taxes or fees.
And the bundle dropped our bill in half.
Get Spectrum, Internet, TV, and Voice. Just $29.99 a month each with no contracts. Call 844-883-2999.
Go ahead. Ask. Parkside Credit Union. We like to say yes.
Montana. It doesn't follow the rules. The rivers are cold even in summer. The people are warm even in winter. Roads wander to nowhere, straight to where you want to be. There are no shortcuts. There's just you and all of this. You wouldn't live anywhere else. You wouldn't live here without a backup plan. AAA Mountain West. Fuel delivery, lockouts, battery service, and more.
Wake up to Montana this morning, weekdays from 5:30 to 7.
Crews are busy replacing corroded water pipes in Flint, Michigan, but the crisis that began when the city switched to a cheaper and dirtier water supply is far from over. Thousands of children still need to be tested for lead in their blood, and early detection is critical.
My baby can't even take a decent bath. I have to boil water just to clean my baby up.
Nurses in Flint hold clinics several times a week to test lead levels. They're focused on young children who are the most vulnerable to exposure. In February, the CDC set a goal for all of Flint's 8,000 children under the age of 6 to be tested for lead exposure by April 1st. That deadline is quickly approaching, and only half of them have been screened. The number of cases is growing, and so is the frustration.
I don't think that that it's very realistic that we'll get it done. We still need for families to realize the importance of it.
Nearly 1,000 homes still have dangerous levels of lead in the water, and 72 children so far have tested positive for high levels in their blood.
According to childhealth.com, about 3 million reports of child abuse are made in the U.S. every year. Hellgate Elementary K-2 counselor Katie Dennehy is doing her best to raise awareness among her young students about child abuse. Dennehy has implemented an abuse prevention program which helps her students recognize signs of abuse. The program teaches them to talk to at least 2 adults if they think they're in an abusive situation. Dennehy is this week's winner of an Allegiance Benefit Plan Management and Kpax TV One Class at a Time grant. Allegiance CEO Dirk Visser awarded Dennehy a $250 check, which will go toward the program.
As the kids grow up and they experience more situations that might be abusive, it teaches them that it's okay to tell someone and that it's important to keep telling. That if someone doesn't listen to them the first time or tells them, oh, I'm not sure that I believe you, that they tell someone else and they continue to tell.
If you'd like to learn more about the One Class at a Time grant, log on to our website, kpax.com.
Well, coming up, the Cats take the floor at the Big Sky tournament while the Grizzlies wait for a potential rematch.
And one team heads to state with familiar high expectations. Derek gets us ready for Montana's March Madness next on Kpax.
One Class at a Time is brought to you by Allegiance Benefit Plan Management.
Wake up to Montana this morning, weekdays from 5:30 to 7.
Your attention, please. Bitterroot Furniture will be closed tomorrow. The staff will mark down every item of furniture 1/2. That's right, 1/2 off suggested retail. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, buy 1 piece or a house full at 1/2 off the suggested retail price. I repeat, Bitterroot Furniture will be closed tomorrow to mark every piece of furniture 1/2 off suggested retail. Be there Thursday morning. Bitterroot Furniture, Hamilton.
Well, I mean, there's different types of tomatoes. You're going to have the type that goes...
We all have goals, and now there's a smarter way to save for them. With the U.S. Bank Start Smart Savings Program, when you save $500 in 1 year, you'll get an extra $50. Plus, you'll get a 1% bonus up to $50 on all net gas and grocery purchases with your U.S. Bank debit card. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
The basement when we moved in seemed drastically colder this time of year. Garden City added the ability to maintain constant heat levels on both levels of our house. Everything's just a lot more comfortable throughout the whole house. And then they also brought in technology that's pretty neat. We replaced our thermostat where I can access that with my phone. So when my wife and I are gone, we can increase the heat, we can decrease it to save on energy. It helps save on our bills as well. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with Garden City Plumbing and Heating. And they're very efficient, very detailed. They were professional the whole time they were here.
Fred's Appliance Spring Laundry Sale is on now. Nobody has better laundry selection than Fred's, and they're all on sale. Save $200 on a high-efficiency GE laundry set during the sale.
A GE high-efficiency washer and dryer for only $9.99 is a terrific buy.
The washer can automatically pick your water level, or you can customize it yourself. When Fred's advertises it, we've got it.
Fred's Appliance. We sell appliances, only appliances.
Time now for sports with Derek Berkeley.
Montana State's men have made big strides in the second year under head coach Brian Fish. After a couple years stuck in the basement, the Bobcats climbed to the middle of the pack and proved they can hang with the big boys in the Big Sky Conference. But you can't afford one bad night once you reach the postseason. To Reno we go, where the 7th-seeded Cats met number 10 Sacramento State. And here late in the first half, off of this steal, Cody Demps takes it down the other way and lays it in just before the buzzer. And Sac State would lead by 5 at halftime, and they would lead the entire second half. Cats trying to make a comeback. Look at this great drive by fabulous freshman Tyler Hall for 2. He had 17 points, but they never got closer than that 2-point score because less with 2 minutes left. Justin Strings with a huge 3. He had 25 points. Montana State loses to the Hornets 79-75, and the Bobcats season is over. In other first-round games, Portland State holds off Northern Colorado. 5-seed North Dakota survives a scare from last-place Southern Utah. And still on the court right now, Eastern Washington is taking care of Northern Arizona. The Grizzlies will now take on those Sacramento State Hornets in the quarterfinals. Montana takes the court for the first time in Reno on Thursday night. enters the bracket with the 2 seed, but they did lose 2 of their past 3 games. The offense has hit a few cold spells, and everyone knows they can't afford any more struggles.
I feel like a lot of that responsibility is on me as a point guard, just getting guys involved and just finding the best shot for us and making sure our guys know and understand what the best shot at the time is for us. A matter of buckling down and just being urgent and just playing on the edge and playing with a certain edge that you didn't maybe have in the beginning of the season.
We got to use this as fuel to our fire. The loss, the selections, those types of things are things that should fuel some emotion and get us through 3 wins.
The selections coach Travis Keir mentioned came from what he felt were a few snubs for his players on the Big Sky All-Conference list, but the league did make a correction tonight that star Martin Boynick was indeed a unanimous first-team pick after all. I'm heading down to Reno bright and early tomorrow. You can follow along with my coverage of the Big Sky Tournament on Kpax.com. March Madness also continues on the high school hardwood this week. 6 state basketball tournaments tip off on Thursday. The Sentinel girls look poised to bring home their 4th title in the past 5 years. But the Spartans showed some unusual vulnerability in their last regular season game. The ladies lost at Helena High, putting a blemish on their previously perfect 19-0 record. Now they can't finish undefeated, but that's okay. In fact, it might help make the Spartans even tougher.
Sometimes when you've won so much, you get complacent, and not in a bad way, but you forget that you can lose. And you get that whole fire burning in you now, like, I don't want to feel like that again.
I think what we're going to take away from this loss is just that during state, it's just going to push us not to, not to let that happen again and just play 100% and make sure that every time we get a possession, we make something out of it and get a good shot.
Sentinel tips off in Bozeman at 10:30 a.m. against Billings Senior in the Class AA tournament. And we also hit the court in Belgrade, Butte, and Great Falls on Thursday with 24 first-round games scheduled. And we'll have it all covered right here. We'll be back after this.
We're having fun here at Ole's, the best fun stop deal around. Come in and get a great big smile. We're doing business country style.
Treat your guests to a great night's rest on the Comfort Sleeper. No bars, no springs, and no sagging. To learn more about size, configuration, fabric, and mattress options, visit the Sofa Sleeper experts at Hunting and Gathering.
Missoula Fresh Market wants to put you in the front row for the smash hit musical Mamma Mia. Kpax and Missoula's local community-minded Missoula Fresh Market is giving 4 people the chance to sit front row plus a $100 gift card. Front row tickets, a Fresh Market gift card, and a night of fun March 25th. Signing up is simple. Register at either store or on the Missoula Fresh Market's Facebook page. Mamma Mia, the ultimate feel-good musical from Missoula's ultimate local grocer, Missoula Fresh Market, and Kpax.
DirecTV and the Missoula Education Foundation are partnered in the effort to enhance educational opportunities for Missoula students beyond classroom walls. Students from MCPS high schools were selected to serve on the MEF Student Board. Recently, board members presented Tom Andrews of Big Sky High School with the Exceptional High School Educator Award. Thank you, Tom, for your dedication to Montana education. DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family, values giving back to the communities where we live and work.
The Comfort Sleeper. On sale now. Place your custom order with the Sofa Sleeper experts and enjoy your sleeper sofa every day of the year. Hunting and Gathering, 6th and Higgins, Missoula.
For a
fresh cup of hot coffee coming to Ole's. You can join the Ole's Coffee Club and get a free cup of coffee at any Ole's location.
Come in and get a great big smile. We're doing business country style.
Kpax.com, your home for continuous news coverage.
So Derek's got the bags all packed for Reno. We knew they were going to go here about a year ago. This has been in the planning stage.
This
for
has
some
been the
time
plan.
now.
The Big Sky Conference decided they wanted to go to a neutral site, bring everybody together, so it's 24 teams all there throughout the whole week. We've already seen a few games, and then I'll be down there for the rest of them starting tomorrow.
Keep up with you on Kpax.com and on Facebook as well. See you back here tomorrow morning.